A week-long celebration of diversity recently came to an end here on campus, but not before students enjoyed a popular game from south of the border. Coming up, we'll have a final look at Diversity Week 2023.
Texas Tech Centennial Celebration continues, with yet another option for people to be a part of the university's year-long birthday party. Find out how people from all over the state had the chance to enjoy the celebration.
And both the Texas Tech baseball and softball teams headed down to Austin for the chance to improve their records against a conference rival. But could either team put the Longhorns out to pasture? MCTV's Joshua Ermis has a full look at highlights from both series in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Elene Khajishvili.
And I'm Jayden Santos. Last week, the Texas Tech campus held a week-long event to help showcase the many different types of people, ideals, and beliefs found throughout the university.
Diversity Week 2023 took place last Monday through Friday with a wide variety of events open to the Red Raider community. On Friday, the week-long celebration came to an end with a game of Loteria at the Black Cultural Center. The bingo-style game features a playing surface with a random collection of images and a deck of cards featuring the same images. The deck of cards is used in place of a traditional bingo ball, with the caller selecting a card from the deck and players marking off the image if they have it. Friday's event was hosted by the Office of LGBTQIA Education and Engagement in hopes of bringing awareness to Loteria's Mexican roots.
So we just wanted to do an event that closed out Diversity Week that kind of highlighted intersectionality because we have a lot of students that identify as Hispanic or LGBTQIA, but we also wanted to educate about Hispanic words and LGBTQIA culture. So it was just kind of an intersectionality between the two.
Participants in Friday's game had the chance to win prizes, and everyone who attended could enjoy free snacks and drinks. Along with Loteria, Diversity Week featured almost a dozen events, including a food drive, the chance to create a commemorative tie-dye shirt, and an opportunity to sample military MRE meals.
Texas Tech's 100th birthday party continues to roll on in 2023 with the latest set of events, literally taking the Centennial celebration on the road. Throughout the month of March, a mobile billboard promoting the university's 100th year of existence toured the state of Texas. On Friday, the tractor-trailer made one of its final stops here in Lubbock at Monterey High School. Monterey students, along with members of the local community, were invited out to join in the celebration. Each tour stop included a special photo op with the Giant 100 statue, along with free swag for everyone in attendance. Leaders from the university were also part of the tour, helping to recruit hundreds of high school students who could potentially attend Texas Tech.
And today we are here showing our Centennial mobile truck to Monterey High School students. We're very excited to be here. We're just celebrating our 100 years as an institution and university.
The Centennial Tour started during the first week of March with a stop in Austin and continued through cities such as San Antonio, Waco, and Dallas. The tour ends tomorrow with stops in Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring, but the celebration continues throughout the year. For a full list of events taking place during Texas Tech's Centennial celebration, visit 100.ttu.edu.
The Texas Tech student body will soon have new leadership after a series of elections officially came to a close last week. On Friday, the Student Government Association announced the final results from a runoff election held on Wednesday and Thursday. Kendall Tully was named as winner of the race for external vice president, and Joel Rivero was announced as the upcoming 99th student body president. Both Tully and Rivero will serve in their respective roles during the 2023-2024 school year. Last week's runoff election was held after the races for external vice president and president ended with no candidate receiving 50% of the vote. The ballot was reduced to the top two candidates in each race, guaranteeing a winner. Along with Tully and Rivero, Emily Sanderson and Hunter Robinson were named as the remaining executive officers before spring break. Sanderson will serve as internal vice president, and Robinson will take over as graduate VP. All of the executive candidates, along with the newly elected Senate, will be sworn in later this spring. The final weekend of March was a mild one here on the South Plains. Temperatures over the weekend stayed in the 60s with lots of sunshine and a breeze.
March came in like a lion, but seemed a bit more like a lamb over the last few days. Will that continue to be the case as we head into the final week of the month? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The trees are barely moving today on the MCTV tower cam. That's a good sign, as wind speeds had stayed at or below 10 miles per hour all day. It has also been mostly sunny, but the clouds are starting to increase a bit this afternoon. Overall, it's another mild day with temperatures expected to climb near 70 degrees before sunset. Tonight, the evening cooling trend will continue from the last few days with temps dropping into the low 30s. We could possibly even fall below freezing early tomorrow morning. Wind speeds will increase, and that will lead to a wind chill factor below freezing after midnight. The chilly temperatures will continue during the morning on Tuesday, and students should plan to bundle up if they are headed to classes before noon. Highs will continue to climb after that, but temperatures are only expected to reach the low 60s by sunset. Tuesday's cool down will be short-lived, with temperatures rebounding quickly on Wednesday. Highs should climb back into the 70s in the afternoon with sunny skies and a breeze. On Thursday, temperatures are expected to be even warmer, with highs back in the 80s, but we'll also see a lot more clouds and increasing winds in the late afternoon. Wind speeds are expected to reach up to 30 miles per hour in the evening, with higher gusts possible. Looking ahead, the forecast for the last day of March is currently showing a chance for winds and possibly another dust storm, creating a gusty end to the windiest month of the year so far.
Texas Tech Athletics was set up for a big weekend, with one team hoping for the chance at a national title and two others facing off against one of their toughest conference rivals.
But could any of those teams find the win column and bring a victory back to Hub City? MCTV's Joshua Ermis joins us in studio with a look back at those games and more in sports. Joshua?
Thank you, Jayden and Elene. Texas Tech women's basketball closed out their 2022-23 season on Thursday. Both Tech baseball and softball traveled to Austin for conference play, and Red Raider football is gearing up for the second season of the Joey McGuire era. We'll start with Lady Raider basketball. Lady Raider basketball traveled to Fayetteville, Arkansas to compete in the third round of the WNIT after two home wins against UTEP and SMU to start their tournament run. Facing off against their Arkansas Razorbacks, Texas Tech fell down to an early 15-0 deficit before they were able to put some points on the board, and that they did. The Lady Raiders went on a 16-3 run to pull within 2 points early in the second quarter. From that point, the Raiders and Razorbacks landed haymaker after haymaker to end the first half 28-28. In the second half, Tech was able to get to leads of both 32-28 and 39-36 before Arkansas went on an 11-0 run, regaining the lead and never looking back. Despite a valiant effort from the Lady Raiders, Arkansas eliminated Texas Tech with a final score of 71-66. In their final games as Lady Raiders, Amber Scott had 28 points, Katie Farrell had 12, and Bryn Gerlich scored 9. Head coach Krista Gerlich had this to say on the loss and the season as a whole after the game.
I'm really, really proud of this team and just how hard they fought. They could have easily thrown in the towel when they were down 13-0. They could have said, you know what, this is too hard. We don't want to fight back, but that's not their makeup at all. They've been fighters all year long and have overcome and become a really good basketball team. And I'm really proud of just how tight they are, the chemistry that they have. And it's just, you know, obviously it's always disappointing when you lose your last game, but could not ask for more of a effort and fight.
Texas Tech finishes their season 20-15 overall, this being the best finish for the Lady Raiders since the 2012-13 season. They were able to make it 3 rounds deep in the WNIT, a feat the program also accomplished in 2012. Moving to the Diamond, Texas Tech baseball traveled to the Texas state capitol over the weekend to take on the rival Texas Longhorns in a 3-game conference series. Brendan Gurton had a solid start on Friday as the Red Raiders got off to a 2-1 lead going into the bottom of the 6th, but it would not last long as the Longhorns got off 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th to take a 3-2 lead that they would not surrender, scoring 3 more in the 8th for good measure. UT took Game 1 with a score of 6-2. In Game 2, TTU was up 3-2 going into the 6th, where UT snuck in 2 runs to claim their first lead of the game at 4-3. Tech would tie it back up at 5-5 in the top of the 9th, but the Longhorns were able to finish the game at 6-5 with a walk-off sac fly in the bottom of the 9th, clinching the series. But there was still 1 game left to play on Sunday, in a thriller that saw the Red Raiders come back from a 8-3 deficit with a 4-run 8th inning and another run in the 9th, setting up for another walk-off scenario for UT. Unfortunately, lightning would strike twice as the Longhorns walked off the Red Raiders for the second day in a row with the 9-8 win and the home series sweep. Texas Tech now stands at 18-7 overall and 2-4 in conference. They will travel to Albuquerque, New Mexico for 1 game against the Lobos tomorrow at 3 p.m. Texas Tech softball suffered a similar fate in their Austin visit as they were also swept by the Longhorns in 3 games. First loss of the weekend came in heartbreaking fashion on Friday as the Red Raiders held a 2-1 lead going into the bottom of the 7th before UT was able to battle back, scoring 2 runs to walk off Tech 3-2, taking Game 1. The Red Raiders got off to a hot start in Game 2, scoring 3 runs in the first inning, a lead they would hold most of the game. But UT finally managed to put some runs together, putting together back-to-back 2-run innings in the 5th and 6th to win 4-3 and clinch the series. The Longhorns finished the sweep on Sunday with a dominant 8-3 win over the Red Raiders, sending Texas Tech home 0-6 on the diamond in Austin. Texas Tech softball now sits at 26-11 overall and 0-3 in the Big 12. They return home to host Iowa State with 3 games starting on Friday at 6 p.m. Finally, football is back in the 806. Texas Tech football started spring practices last week with 3 practices. One highlight of the first week of practice was the introduction of new assistant coach, pass game coordinator, and wide receivers coach Justin Johnson, or Coach Juice. Coach Johnson is happy to have the opportunity to coach alongside Joey McGuire again as the two work together at Baylor. He had this to say about his new home in Lubbock.
It's been great, high energy. I've known Coach McGuire for a while now, and so I knew the expectation and the standard and the brand coming in, so it's been great. Just came right in and got right to work, so it's been great so far.
Texas Tech will continue practice this week as they prepare for Season 2 under Joey McGuire. They host the spring football game at Lowry Field at Plains Capital Park on April 22nd. The practice is open to the fans and will also air on Big 12 Now via ESPN+. That's it for Texas Tech Sports. Now back to Jayden.
Thanks, Joshua. You may not know it, but Texas Tech is home to several rotating art galleries found in various buildings across campus. But there's one building in particular where you can find some of the most unique examples of work by the Tech community and beyond year-round. Texas Tech School of Art features several galleries housed throughout the building. The facility's landmark gallery is one of the largest spaces and is currently showcasing a special exhibit titled Betting on the Sun. The display includes various forms of sculpture, all curated by Bethany Springer, an associate professor at the University of Arkansas. The pieces on display vary from traditional sculpture to some works that stretch the definition of the art form. All of the pieces focus on the sun and its effects on our world. Betting on the Sun will remain on display in the art building from now through April 16th, and you can stop by and see it in person anytime. The building is open.
So Jayden, have you had a chance to check out any of the art exhibits here on campus?
You know, I haven't yet, but it seems like a really cool opportunity, and I feel like I should.
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.